broadcast of boys varsity basketball on NKTelco Sports. We are here at Minster Gymnasium where the Knoxville Rangers will take on the Minster Wildcats. Tonight's game is brought to you by the following sponsors: Keyhole Pizza, First National Bank, Precision Strip, Emerson Climate Technologies, Carriage Works, Grand Lake Health, Kogi Plumbing and Heating, Lincoln Electric Automation, Minster Bank, New Knoxville Supply, Pratt Industries, Wagner's IGA, Wilson Health, Winners Meats, Worcesters Floor Center, and NKTelco. Along with Jeff Henshin, I'm Dave Kanapke. MAC battle between two All-Glaze County neighbors, Minster and New Knoxville. Jeff, both these teams really hungry for wins. New Knoxville just 1-11 on the season. You look at their very young team, no seniors, pretty balanced scoring overall. It has been pretty balanced. You got about 4 guys, all between like 7 and 9 points, no one in double figures. They shoot, I think, pretty well. I mean, it's not a great percentage. You think with 1-11, you think it's going to be in the 20s, but the team field goal shooting is, 3-point shooting is just under 40, and their free throw shooting is almost 80%. So if you just see that number, you think, wow, pretty good. The trouble is maybe not enough volume. You know, if you make 3 out of 4 shots, that's 75%, but they need to be making, 15 out of 20, et cetera. But they've improved. They have not been turning the ball over as much, which really hurt them early on in the season. They were averaging over 21 turnovers a game. Now they're down to 16. They've been competitive. Just quick numbers here. They played St. Henry last Friday, and before that they played Jackson Center. Cool, back-to-back games. Jackson Center, they outscored them in the second half 33-27 and didn't empty the bench. Neither team did. And to open up the first half against St. Henry, they trailed 36-33 at halftime. So they've put together 4 good quarters, just not all in the same game. Yeah, that's been a problem for the Minster Wildcats as well. Very young as well. Play a lot of sophomores, a lot of freshmen. They're 2-13 on the season. One in particular, one of those sophomores, Cole Richard, having a heck of a season, averaging over 14 points a game. Yeah, he's young. He's only a sophomore. You mentioned New Knoxville, no seniors on the roster. Minster plays a lot of underclassmen, so a lot of these kids are getting a lot of experience. And both teams, I think, tonight think, hey, someone's getting a first league win tonight no matter what. And I think both of them feel like they're each, Minster feels like they're going to get it. New Knoxville, I think, has a strong confidence that they have a good chance of getting their first MAC win. Yeah, Minster has had a 9-game losing streak. New Knoxville has 6-game losing streaks. Something has to give for one of those teams. We'll pause right now for the national anthem. Be back with the starting lineups on NKTelco Sports.
I'm Mallory. My grandpa's been making the world's worst pizza for 30 years. That doesn't look like the world's worst pizza. Grandpa, I know why they call you Chunky Bob. It's because you use chunky ingredients on your pizza.
Of course, it's not because I'm fat.
Grandpa, this is the world's best pizza. Keyhole Pizza, come check Grandpa out.
Dine in or carry out.
Together, we are family, working safely for our loved ones.
We are problem solvers who challenge the status quo and drive improvement.
We care about our customer relationships.
We stay true to our values, caring and respecting one another.
We embrace change as we journey through our career.
We are Precision Strip, the world's leading processor of rolled steel and aluminum.
Precision Strip, doing the exceptional.
At Wilson Health, we're extending care beyond the walls of the hospital, with resources designed to keep you in charge of your health.
Our independence and connection to the community are unique in a world where big healthcare strives to act like corporations.
Our tools may be the same, but we are different.
We're neighbors, friends, and family who truly care about the people who live here.
We call it caring without limits, and it's just the beginning of a whole new Wilson Health.
Our officials tonight, Raymond Farrell, 14 years as an official. Mark Fortman, 28 years. And then Jeff Rudy, 14 years. So veteran officials, 56 years of experience between the three. We'll introduce our starters, brought to you by Emerson Climate Technologies. Number 3, Andrew Leffel, 7 points a game for the 5'9" junior. Number 4, Jay Waterman, 6-foot junior, 8.2 a game. Jay Schrader, a 5'11" sophomore, 9.2. And the leading scorer, number 11, Troy Dwenger, a 5'11" junior, 9.3. And rounding out the lineup, Tyler Lammers, a 6'2" junior, a little over 2 points a game. So we have 1 sophomore, 4 juniors for the New Knoxville head coaches. Carson Munger, assisted by Josh Lacey, and also
Keith Thomas.
Keith Thomas is JV coach. Now the dim lights, we'll have our Emerson Climate Technologies starting lineups for the Wildcats. 2-13 under 7th-year head coach Michael McClurg. At point guard position, 5'10" freshman Cole McClurg, averaging 5 points a game, 15 threes. Number 4, Cole Richard, 14.3 a game, 11 straight games in double digits. Power forward, 6'3" sophomore Ian Holman, 5 points a game. Number 20, the only senior in the lineup, Logan Cooney, 5 points a game. And the big guy underneath, just a freshman, 6'7" freshman, 8 points, 7 rebounds for Cole Albers. Assistant coaches, Kurt Albers, J.J. Woolmeyer, Roger Bokey, and Logan Summer for the Wildcats. Now let's look at our keys to the game, brought to you by Keyhole Pizza. Jeff, let's start with the Knoxville Rangers.
Well, Coach Munger wants to hold Minster under 40 points. He feels if he can do that, his offense will score enough to maybe walk away with a first league win of the night. Also, be on offense. Be ready or willing to give up a good shot for a chance at a great shot. Hold on to that thought, because it's going to come back to mention that. And also contain Cole Richard. He's their leading scorer. He can do a lot of good scoring. He's had some big back-to-back 30-point games. And for Minster, they want to limit their turnovers. I told you how New Knoxville's improved. Well, Minster wants to control their turnovers. They average over 17 a game. They also want to take good shots. Both coaches want to take good shots. Don't just settle for what's kind of good. And also put together 4 quarters. I mentioned New Knoxville needing to do that. Minster likewise. At times, they play a quarter here and there very well, but then go into drought mode and, let's say, bad plays. You got to eliminate that as your youngsters, and both these teams are young, so maybe they can compete at the same level.
Those are your keys to the game. Brought to you by Keyhole Pizza. The Rangers controlled the tip. Jay Schrader calls out the play. Jay Waterman with the basketball as they work it around the perimeter. Andrew Leffel trying to get off a shot. Being very patient on offense now, Waterman. Schrader 9.2, directing traffic, guarded by Richard. Lammers, good defense by the man-to-man. Leffel puts up a 3. Albers with the rebound. Up ahead to Cole Richard. These two teams, Jeff, have played together against each other a long time as we get a blocking foul.
Yeah, this dates back, I don't know when the first game was, but they played each other twice here for a number of years. All in all, this is the 156th meeting all time, and really almost kind of split dead even. New Knoxville has an 82 win to 73 win mark against the Minster Wildcats. Minster has won the past few meetings. I know they won last year, and I think the last 2 or 3, 4 years for sure. But 82 wins for New Knoxville. Minster with 73. Once again, this is 156th meeting all time.
That's a whole bunch of basketball between these two Auglaize County neighbors, and that pass whistles over the 6'3" Ian Holman, so turnover against the Wildcats.
It's interesting. Both coaches kind of similar keys. Both coaches want to take good shots, don't force it. Both coaches want to, just work the ball. There's no shot clock, and force the other team's defense to make a mistake, and then you get a great shot, a more open look, if you will, and you don't feel like you have to force things.
There's a 3 ball off the mark there for the Rangers. That was Troy Dranger on the shot.
Rangers 0 for 2 to open the game in three-point shooting. I mentioned in a pregame, just under 40%, a pretty good three-point shooting team.
Cole McClurg will go out of bounds, tipped in by Cole Albers. 3 Coles in the lineups. Richard, McClurg, and Albers. Cole Richard is with a K. The other 2 are with a C. So Old King Cole or something like that. You could tie something in. So I don't know how the coaches keep them straight. I'm sure they keep them straight. It's just who they yell. If they yell in need to say Cole, all 3 of them will turn to him. Right now, Leffel tries to drive. Gives it up to Lammers. 3 ball by Waterman. Jay Waterman knocks it down.
Well, the Rangers now 1 for 3. The assist there from Tyler Lammers, who kicked it out after the defense somewhat collapsed on him. Waterman connects for his 17th made triple on the season. He's a 33% three-point shooter, and the 6-foot junior, the first bucket of the game for either team.
Drive to the basket by Cole McClurg, and he banks it in.
Nice use of the bank board there. A tough shot, moving, kind of floating, not straight up, not straight down, but used the bank board to get a nice soft kiss for his first 2 points.
McClurg's been doing more driving of late the last few games. Otherwise, he's been pretty well set three-point shooter, but he gets the basket drive up
that might
there by
blocked.
Schrader. Looked partially blocked by Richard. Pass up ahead. Cooney jumps. Cannot finish it. There is a jump ball and the rebound. Alder in possession will keep it with Minster. Talked about one of the other keys was to put 4 quarters together. Minster at times has looked really good. Like they played Marion early season, was up 16-6 in that game. There's a lob to Cooney. They do that play a lot. Cooney, very athletic, can jump out of the gym.
Plays big, and I saw that a couple times Sunday in their game at the Martin Luther King Classic. Yeah. They ran that offense quite a bit out of bounds.
And they played Miami East, who was ranked #1 in Division III. And late in the third quarter, it was a 4-point game.
Yeah, I told someone they ended up losing maybe by double figures, but it was a very close game well into the second half.
3-ball misses for the Rangers. Down to Cole Albers in a nice game against Miami East. He was our player of the game with 10 points. Richard hits the corner jumper.
Pretty smooth. We talked about him in our pregame. He's our leading scorer and did it there off the dribble. A nice, pretty quick in-rhythm shot, tough to block. So he's athletic. He can move, make space. And he's 5'10", so he's not an extremely large player, but boy, his quickness allows him to get open.
6-3 Minster. Troy Dranger, maybe he's trying to pull Minster out of their zone. It's kind of a moment. It's really a matchup. Man-to-man, Leffel will do the 3 and rattle it home. Leffel.
1 for 2 from that range now against Marion Local a couple weeks ago. Much taller Marion Local team. New Knoxville kind of spread the floor and really patient, really ran through it. I was in the gym before the game started setting up, and I heard Coach Munger talk about what they were looking for and when to take advantage of it. You know, when they got the matchup and that size, sometimes here we've seen it again. They'll pull the defense out, try to get them to come out, and just run the offense over the whole half court.
For New Knoxville, number 5, sophomore Preston Richling in the game. For Minster, another sophomore Connor Schmeezing in the game, number 10 in this 6-6 game. 3:24 to go, first quarter.
Richling had a nice game against St. Henry. Really sparked New Knoxville. New Knoxville trailed like 9-0 against St. Henry to open the game, and I'm thinking, oh no. New Knoxville came back, took a 16-14 lead at the end of the first quarter. Richling had a couple steals during that run where New Knoxville went on a run, threw one down for a dunk that really sparked the crowd, forced St. Henry to take a timeout. Like I said, New Knoxville in that St. Henry game trailed 36-33 at halftime. Kind of ran out of gas in the second half, but Richling, a lot of energy and good legs, comes up with a lot of steals and had a big play against the Redskins to help his team.
Waterman shot. He ends up with his own rebound. Richling's 3 goes out of bounds to Minster. Funny you mentioned the St. Henry game. 2 weeks ago, Minster traveled over to St. Henry, a place where they haven't won 3 games in 40 years over there. It was 70-66, and it was a 2-point game with under 10 seconds to go. It was really a great atmosphere, and people comment. A lot of people was like, wow, that was awesome to see a game that high scoring. St. Henry, for the years under Fran Gilbo, their average was in the 70s, so it was a really good game in that game. Cole Richard had 30 points in that game. She drives to the bucket. Cole Albers cannot quite follow.
Was that 30 his 30 points? Second. So he had 30 the game before.
He had 30. They played There's a turnover there. As they played at Harvest Prep. It was a little day after January 1st. They played Lucas, lost the game in overtime. Cole Richard had 30 at that game. And that next Friday has 30 again. We think it might be the only time ever in school history that somebody scored 30 or more back-to-back. We're the only thing back in 1949, Tom Frericks, Minster native, longtime UD athletic director, had 3 30-point games back in 1949. I think it was Coldwater, New Knoxville, and Cridersville. So
just don't know if they were back-to-back.
Right, so Richard has done a feat that's gone at least 70 years back.
You need to go to the school library here at Minster. Find a 19, whatever that yearbook was. Back then, I think they still put the schedules in there and the results.
We'll have to check it out. I could talk to Kurt Albers is kind of the resident historian of Minster basketball. He put together all the records that you see in the program. He's been a long-time assistant coach, probably at least 10 or 15 years.
Yeah, I didn't pull that 156th meeting out of fresh air, the blue sky. That was in ink here in a very nice program that you don't see very often anymore. The old handheld paper.
About 3 years ago, he researched all the top scorers, like the highest three-point percentage, most field goals in a year, most scoring in a year, rebounds.
Takes some time.
Yeah, there's a drive by Leffel. You know, it's easy to look up the points when you look up all the other. He spent about a summer, from what I understand from Kurt. He did that, so we'd like to thank him for doing that. As Andrew Leffel, 5'9" junior, will shoot 2.
Foul goes against Dylan Watercutter, 5'10" senior. His first foul. Each team with a foul.
Leffel with the first one goes in and out. In the game will be Tyler Lammers.
Leffel, a very good free throw shooter on the season, 85%, and hope I don't jinx him again, but he came in 17 of 20. That's 85%. Misses his first one. He missed the second one as well.
You don't see that for an 85% shooter, but he won't miss probably many in a while. Minster averaging 46 on the season. New Knoxville 41. 3 ball by Richard. Nice rebound there by Waterman. He'll draw the foul on Homan.
Homan's first, team second, but those missed free throws, though, that's something when you're 1 on 11, that doesn't help your cause. You need to get those free points. Statistically, he should have made them, let's say, 85%. They don't miss. Well, they do once in a while, or else they would be 100. But, New Knoxville gets a nice one and done down here in the defensive end following the Richard miss. But you need to score.
Full court pressure here. Able to break it. Schrader gives it up to Leffel. Back to Schrader.
And right now, New Knoxville, again, no seniors. They're all right now about the same size as well. You might have a 6-foot, stretch it to 6'1" to 5'10" build guys, if you will, height-wise, but all can kind of run, and but just no real vertical height.
Richling runner goes short, so the Minster ball with 32 seconds left. Yeah, I was looking at the matchup. Cole Albers is 6'7", really didn't have anybody to guard, and he was guarding,
yeah, he was, but now Lammers comes
back in, so more of the post player.
Is 6'2". But yeah, other than that, New Knoxville, they're all look alike. They're all the same size.
Down to 20 seconds. Minster with the ball in a 6-6 game on our First National Bank scoreboard. First National Bank, think first. Schmeezing to Cooney to McClurg. See who will go to. It looks like they go for the last shot.
Down to 7, you got to beat.
Watercutter back to McClurg. McClurg will try to make something happen. To Albers, he'll try a 3, in and out. Played a quarter of basketball here at Minster High School. Tight game on our First National Bank scoreboard, 6-6. Be back with the second quarter here on NKTelco Sports.
CarriageWorks has expanded and now can hold up to 25 cars in our service bay. CarriageWorks thrives on customer satisfaction. We accomplish that by providing top-of-the-line technology. CarriageWorks now uses a laser beam system to measure down to the millimeter of factory specs to better service you and get you back on the road. CarriageWorks has a brand new top-of-the-line paint booth that uses waterborne paint. There's no job too big or too small for CarriageWorks. We're certified collision specialists. Come in and see us today.
Ohio means jobs. Auglaize County has a job for you. Grand Lake Health System has over 800 employees. Included is Joint Township District Memorial Hospital and multiple physician practices. And we're now hiring a variety of positions that fit all education and skill levels. Plus, you'll get a great benefit package offered to both full and part-time workers. Join this rewarding career and help your community in the process. Contact Ohio Means Jobs Auglaize County for all your employment needs.
One quarter in the book. This MAC League game, we are all tied at 6.
Yeah, neither team really lit the baskets on fire. Each team, New Knoxville, 0 for 3, 2-point scoring, 2 for 6 from three-point range, 0 for 2 from the line, total of 2 for 9 from the field with the Rangers. Minster 3 for 5, 2-point shooting, 0 for 3, 3-point shooting, so they were 3 of 8, and the Minster did not attempt a free throw, and it's kind of a slow start here as each team is kind of trying to get in some offensive rhythm, but right now a pretty well-balanced ball game.
New Knoxville's had 2 players with 3 points. Minster 3 players with 2 points. 2 different ways to get the 6 points. Shot rims in and out there for Dwanger. McClure lobs it down to Albers. Turnaround, left-handed hook for the big guy. Cole Albers, pretty ambidextrous when he shoots like that.
That's his first shot of the game, unless I missed it, other than the three-pointer he took at the end of the quarter.
He doesn't shoot a whole lot. He has a pretty good field goal percentage.
Yeah, 55%.
Yeah, and he comes up with a steal there. Up ahead to Cooney. Watercutter gives it to McClure. Minster now with a 2-point lead. Look around, Watercutter and Cooney, the 2 seniors on the floor. Probably the 2 best defensive players on this team, especially for guards or small forwards. Cole Albers loses the handle, or loses his footing, cleaned up there by Ian Homan.
Thought maybe Albers was fouled going to the basket. His shot was short, but Ian Homan, a 5-rebounder guy and a strong guy, right place, right time. He finishes his first points a game. He averages 6 per game.
Waterman 3. Draws back iron. Cooney comes up with a rebound.
New Knoxville, I mentioned how well they shoot the threes. They're not off to a good start, and that's hampered their offense. They don't get a lot of interior stuff. They rely on the three-point shooting. It hasn't clicked for them yet.
Albers saves it for going out of bounds. Cooney through the lane, banks it home. Timeout New Knoxville. Carson Munger. All timeouts this year brought to you by Precision Strip. We will check this. It will be a full timeout. You're watching MAC basketball on NKTelco Sports.
We are here, and here, and here.
Minster Bank is everywhere, providing every banking service that you need to keep your financial life in order. Whether you are on the go or stopping by one of our branches, Minster Bank is here for you. We proudly support the communities where you live. Minster Bank, helping people achieve financial success.
Unpack your potential with a career at Pratt Industries. Working at Pratt Industries is more than a job. It's a sustainable career.
Pratt Industries to me is a job. It's my career. It's the way I put food on my table, but I love what I do.
We offer competitive pay, excellent benefits, and opportunities for career advancement. To apply, visit careers.prattindustries.com.
Coming out of this Precision Strip timeout. Minster on a 6-0 run here to start the second quarter.
Yes, they've answered very well the first almost 2 minutes of action. They've scored 6 points, which matches what they did in the first 8 minutes. New Knoxville 0 for 2 in their first 2 possessions. So the 6-0 run, like you said, in a game that hasn't had a lot of offense. Give credit to the Wildcats for coming out and get some fire lit on them, and they've had some offensive rebounds for buckets and a nice interior move by Albers to help with that good spark here in the second quarter.
Rangers break the pressure. Waterman with the basketball to Schrader.
I think it's important, New Knoxville. You know, it's a long way to go, but boy, you hate to get down too much. And their shooting has been pretty good. Again, they haven't had a lot of turnovers tonight, so that was their Achilles heel before, but they could always shoot fairly well as Richmond gets a nice bucket there. And the Rangers kind of answer on a big possession there to get their confidence back on offense.
Cuts the lead to 4. Richard being guarded by Schrader. had to pick up his dribble and loses it. Richling taking it across Cooney. Cooney swats it away. McClurg to the outlet. Rangers able to get back. They lob it underneath. Fortunate to get the ball back. And that will go out of bounds. It's a great defensive play by Cooney.
Yeah, that and great defensive play by the Wildcats. And boy, the Rangers were all over the lob pass. I didn't get a good look at it. All I know is when it was thrown, the end result was a lot of bodies around. The Minster's already committed 6 turnovers.
A bit sloppy, and that's like we talked about. They average 17 a game when you commit that many, and some of them are unforced. That was probably an ill-advised pass underneath.
It resulted then in the turnover, you're right. But Minster, if you're going to have a lot of turnovers, you got to score about every other time you don't, and they've been able to do that here in the second quarter.
3 ball from the corner there by Leffel. Minster back on the attack. Both teams, especially Minster, trying to run when they get the chance. In the corner, McClurg. Rebound by Richling. Dwanger will walk it up, looking back at Coach Carson Munger in his second year at the helm of the Rangers. Leffel almost tied up there. Waterman guarded by Cooney. Cooney usually draws the toughest assignment, as he's a very athletic player and causes the held ball with his turnover.
He's very aggressive, and he wears the sporting goggles to help him, allow him to get, let's say, physical. But he reminds me of Clark Kent. That's why I thought he wore him. But you have a different story.
I've heard that he was in the Oktoberfest parade and somebody threw a Skittle and it hit him in the eye, and he uses that protection in that regard. No long-term damage or anything, but it was hurt. That's what I can't remember who told me. It was a pretty good source.
Well, he is a good look for him. He wears the goggles or the protective glasses well.
Richard not able to finish there. Holman sticks it in.
Holman's had 4 points, and both of his buckets have come on offensive rebounds. He followed up a Cole Albers miss, and he followed up a Cole Richard miss. So he's done a nice job.
Holman is definitely the prototypical power forward.
Yes, he's
and right tackle on the football
I heard
team.
You in the Sunday broadcast when I heard it. You mentioned the football player, and he's built, like he could run through the brick wall and ask questions later.
Very strong young man, just a sophomore. That is blocked there as Leffel tried to reverse layup there, but he's able to draw the foul. I think more on the rebound there by Albers.
For Albers, that's his 38th block of the season. So we've seen at least, Cooney had a block. I think Richard might have had one. I think there's been about 3 block shots for the Wildcats already here in the first half. But for Cole Albers, his 38th block of the season, almost 2 per game.
Yeah, we'll have to look that up. He's in the that's like the 4th or 5th highest ever in season, I think. Yeah, I have to look it up.
Well, this is their 16th game.
Jared Schultz, a long time, had some real big blocks. He was 6'7" for a couple of years. So, he could get on it. Yeah. Noah Schruderman into the game. For the Wildcats, he had 14 in the JV game. Very athletic freshman. Plays a power forward or post. Shot up there by Schrader, and Schruderman with the rebound.
Good defense by the Wildcats. You saw Dwanger is going to get his second foul, but you saw Schrader going to make the move. It was almost like he was looking, where's the hand coming from? Where is the shot blocker? And it really slowed down, and Minster timed it well, really guarded well, didn't lunge and didn't commit a foul.
Troy Dwanger, his second foul, like Jeff said. Coach Monger made sure he knew he had 2 fouls as Rangers drop back in that 2-3 zone. Cooney will try the 3 ball. 3 ball from the old corner pocket.
7 points in the game for Cooney. Averages 5 on the season. Has had a nice start here. He's already played some great defense. And that's his 7th made 3-pointer. He's not a high percentage 3-point shooter, but some nights when things are going right, throw out the percentages. Just give me the ball. I'm letting it fly. And that's the confidence you got to have. Sometimes, things just work well, and Cooney's done a nice job so far.
Minster's outscored New Knoxville 11-2 in this quarter. And after the first quarter, they only scored 6 points. And
Yeah, this has been an offensive struggle. The shooting just hasn't been there for New Knoxville. Credit the Wildcat defense, but at times New Knoxville has had some good looks, just not been able to knock down the three-point shot.
There's a steal and a tip pass by the Wildcats. Richard through the lane will throw one up and in. That's the part of his game he's really improved on. He has always been a great set shooter, but this year he's takes it in the lane. He's much shorter than everybody, and somehow he does something like that.
You mentioned before the game that type of acrobatic shot. I thought maybe he could have been called for a charge. He ran straight over.
It's true.
But he finished well with a difficult shot.
Cooney rattles it home, a near dunk. And Logan Cooney having a big night.
Well, that's a momentum play, and New Knoxville commits the turnover, and Cooney, again, athletic. No one's going to stop him. He beats the Rangers down to court and gets fouled in the act. And a chance to complete a three-point play.
Timeout on the floor by New Knoxville will be a 30-second timeout. This timeout brought to you by NKTelco, or by Precision Strip. We'd like to let you know NKTelco Sports and its sponsors are pleased to bring you replays of tonight's high school varsity basketball action on NKTelco Channel 3 or in HD on Channel 503. The replay times are Monday, February 6th at 7 p.m. and Saturday, February 11th at 10 a.m. You can also watch more games on demand through YouTube, Facebook, and at nktelco.com/sports. Jeff, I'm looking up some of my numbers here. Looking at Logan Cooney, he already has nine. His season high is 10.
So he can match out here in the first half.
Against St. Henry. That's the only time in double figures. So right now he's looking for a season best right now. He can tie it here in the three-point play.
You know, a tough start for New Knoxville here. I mentioned their shooting, and they haven't shot well as Cooney does complete the three-point play. And things obviously not going well for New Knoxville because they're behind now by 14. But I admire Coach Margaret. Calls timeout. Didn't raise his voice, he just calmly talked to his kids, and I appreciate how he handled that with a nice demeanor and a long way to go. Good basket by Schrader.
Yeah, they needed that basket there. Now if you're in Knoxville, see if you can get a stop and get another basket, get a little momentum going into half.
You're down 12. It'd be nice to have it in single digits just mentally, but you take what you can get. First they need to get a stop against the Wildcats.
Holman triple teamed and tied up.
They'll force a turnover, so they will get the ball back.
Cole Albers will come back in to give Holman a break.
Another Minster turnover. If anything they've done wrong, that's 7 here in the half. And for New Knoxville, as I mentioned, they only have 4. So, they on nights when they throw the ball away, they shoot well. On nights they don't throw the ball away, they haven't shot well. So need to get some offensive continuity here going. Schrader scored the last time.
Trying again, and there's Albers that blocks it.
It'll stay with the Rangers, but for Albers, I mentioned the 37 blocks coming in tonight. He's already now recorded at least 2, and I know Cooney, I'll put a little mark down by him. He has 1.
Quick pass. Richling drives to the hoop. Nice drive by Preston Richling.
He's quick, can jump, tough to guard when you can, and when the ball goes in, it's a tough stop. Turnover again.
Steal by Leffel. See if they can get another basket here.
It's 10 now. The three-pointer would make it 7.
Dwenger trying to drive. Watercutter, nice defensive play, knocks it away. Chance for Minster. Here comes Cooney, up and under, rolls off, tipped around, and that will end our first half of play. Minster rides a big second quarter. They have a 10-point lead at halftime, 22-12 on our First National Bank scoreboard. We'll be back with the first half stats and the second half when we return on NKTelco Sports.
Are you looking for a rewarding career? Lincoln Electric Automation in Coldwater and Fort Loramie supplies top-of-the-line automation systems to manufacturers. Lincoln Electric Automation routinely develops its team through hiring and by offering advanced technical training. We understand that every employee matters, and every role contributes to the success of our business. We offer advancement opportunities, competitive wages, and benefit packages. Visit LincolnElectric.com and get on track to a better career and a better future.
New Knoxville Supply Company, the supply source for residential, commercial, and industrial jobs. We specialize in plumbing products from many name brands, electrical products from replacing a light switch to rewiring an entire house, heating, air conditioning, and geothermal products, sheet metal ductwork, installations, and service. We are now housing more inventory, so all the hardware items you need to complete the job are available right away. New Knoxville Supply. Stop in, call, or check us out online at newknoxvillesupply.com.
Whether you do business from a corner store or a corner office, there is one asset your business cannot do without: the Internet. Everything from sales and marketing, training and shipping, PR, HR, and R&D, your business relies on a fast, reliable, and secure connection. And now, it's more important than ever to partner with an internet provider you can trust. Get Flight Fiber for Business, backed by local tech support from NKTelco. Call today.
Hi, I'm Mallory. My grandpa's been making the world's worst pizza for 30 years. That doesn't look like the world's worst pizza. Grandpa, I know why they call you Chunky Bob. It's because you use chunky ingredients on your pizza.
Of course, it's not because I'm fat.
Grandpa, this is the world's best pizza. Keyhole Pizza, come check Grandpa out.
Dine in or carry out.
Welcome back. We're at halftime here on this Friday night MAC game between two All-Glaze County rivals. Minster leads at halftime 22-12 on our First National Bank scoreboard. With the first half numbers, Mr. Jeff Henson.
Thank you, Dave. As Minster took advantage of a strong second quarter. In that second quarter, Minster shot a very good 7 of 11 in the second quarter. So obviously that was better than their 3 of 8 in the first. They go on, Minster does, to shoot 9 of 14 from 2-point range, just 1 of 5 from 3-point range, but overall a very good 10 of 19 for 52% from the field. New Knoxville struggled, did not shoot the ball very well in either quarter. They finished the half with 3 of 11 2-point shooting and just 2 of 8 3-point shooting. For the half, 5 of 19 from the field for just 26%, maybe fortunate that they aren't down by more than 10. Had a chance to cut it to single digits at the end of the half. Didn't get it done, but one thing New Knoxville's done to keep them in the game more so is only 6 turnovers. And Minster has 8, but it seems like Minster maybe, I don't know, it seemed like they had more than that, but kind of had chances there. The Wildcats, a couple extra turnovers. New Knoxville played a cleaner game. Free throw shooting, neither team really tempted. Cooney had the 1 of 1 following his dunk that he was fouled on, and New Knoxville 0 for 2. So limited free throws. Rebounding, the Wildcats took advantage of a couple offensive rebounds by Ian Homan for 4 points for him in the half to convert offensive second chance points as we're underway here in the second half.
Yeah, Logan Cooney was definitely the story in the second quarter at 8 points, and there's a 3 by Cole Richard.
He now has 7. Leading scorer for the Wildcats is Logan Cooney with 10, and then 4 from Ian Homan, 7 now from Richard, 2 from Cole McClurgan, 2 from Cole Albers. Their total of now 24.
Jay Waterman's 3 off the mark. Albers with the rebound and is fouled.
Rangers scoring in the first half. Preston Richling with 4, 3 from Andrew Leffel, 3 from Jay Waterman, and 2 from Jay Schrader.
Speaking of, Droy Dwenger leads the game with his third foul as Preston Richling.
I heard the whistle. I thought it was Andrew Leffel. I just saw someone down there. As I was going through the information, when you showed 3 fingers, I thought, oh, nuts. New Knoxville doesn't need that. He's their kind of, main player offensively and defensively.
High-low from Albers to Homan, and he rattles it around.
Homan a perfect 3 for 3. I just got done mentioning how well he did offensive rebounding. That time he got a nice pass, and 3 for 3 from the field for Ian Homan.
Homan, for a big guy, has a pretty soft touch when he shoots. His free throws as well, and his field goal percentage is right at about just under 49%.
Yeah, just under half, and then you got Albers at 55, so those guys get it. There's a good chance most of the time that it's going in.
Schrader's 3, and Albers just skies over everybody with that 6'7" frame.
Boy, 15-point lead here, and the Rangers are in soon to be in desperation mode. I hate to say it with the shooting woes they've had. Minster now doing it kind of on all facets. The rebounding's been big. They're getting some good top down, and they've begun to hit their shots a little bit at a higher percentage.
Homan with a rebound and is fouled, and Ian Homan will go to the line to shoot a pair.
Another offensive rebound. That's at least his 3rd of the game. He's converted the first 2 into baskets, has a chance here to, let's say, score on all 3 of those offensive rebounds.
64% foul shooter, Ian Homan. Minster trying to break a 9-game losing streak. Their last win was against Anna. That was back in 2022. That was back on December 17th.
I had that game.
Yeah,
here.
you had the game.
And that was, Anna was ahead. Next thing you know, Minster just, I think, came back from a 10-point deficit and got the win.
1 of 2 there for Holman.
He now has 7 points.
And the lead at 16, 28-12. Richling kicks it over to Schrader. He'll try the corner 3. Albers with a good box out in the rebound. Richard, nice crossover to Cooney. Underneath, that's tipped away, will stay with the Wildcats.
Good movement there by Preston Richling on a strong, crisp pass by Cole Albers trying to hit, I think it was Richard, but nonetheless, Richling does what you're supposed to do when you're playing defense. Knock it down and force them to redo.
McClurg, freshman point guard. There's several point guards in this area, in the MAC and in the area playing. Some of them coaches' sons.
Yeah, you mentioned McClurg. We'll see what New Knoxville does here. Also, you have Elwer, Coach Elwer's son, Cam Elwer, very nice player at St. John's.
Shot to the basket and in off the glass by Andrew Leffel.
Good bucket for him. He now has 5. And then you go to Versailles. Drake Arns, not the coach's son, but another freshman that's a starting guard.
And there's Cole McClurg on the 3. Tipped around. Richard came up with a good job by Holman and Albers to keep that alive. And then you have Kevin Sensabaugh's son.
Yes.
I think it's Cole Sensabaugh. Not positive.
I don't know, but yeah, he's a strong player.
Cooney can't follow, but Albers does.
Was it Cooney or was it Holman that couldn't follow?
It was Cooney that tried to missed it, but Albers got the second rebound and put it in. 30-14, and there is Waterman. Waterman lost his footing and pass goes by his head. So tough break for the Rangers. Minster on the season, 2 of 13. Obviously not a great record, but you look a little deeper. They lost 2 overtime games, 4 other games that they lost by 4 points or less. Not that you're going to win every close game, but you win some of that's 6 games. If you win 3 of them,
you're 5 and 10.
5 and 10 is a little better than 2 and 13.
9. Yeah, if you win all of them, who knows? Now you're maybe about 8 and 7 or something like that.
They had some opportunities. Richard 3. There's Holman working to get the rebound. Loses hand on the way up. They go out of bounds and to the Rangers.
Boy, 5 offensive rebounds here in a quarter for the Wildcats. And you look back at our keys of the game, New Knoxville, they wanted to hold Minster under 40. They got their work cut out to do that. They wanted to give up good shots to get great shots. They just haven't been able to score. And then defensively contain Richard, which they've done, but the rebounding, especially defensive rebounding, has really hampered them here in the ball games. Minster's come up with about 7 of those second chance points.
Preston Richling to Leffel. Nice pass underneath to Lammers. Can't finish. Holman with the rebound.
You kind of saw Leffel get into the paint. All of a sudden, there was Albers. He kind of hesitated. Albers just waiting for the shot to go up. Made a nice pass to Lammers, but again, Albers retreated and had a hand in Lammers' face. That
Cole Albers with that baby hook.
6 points in the game for Albers, averaging 8.3.
He's had a baby hook, left-handed and right-handed tonight.
Yep.
Don't know if he's naturally left-handed, but he's very smooth at that. Lammers to the hoop, and that's stolen away by Connor Smeezing. Smeezing, a very good defensive guard, as well as Dylan Watercutter, very good defense. There's a good offensive guard there, in and out by Richard. There's Holman again, and 1. Ian Holman, strong on the boards, 5 points in this quarter.
Yeah, and that's a 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, at least 9 points I have recorded where the Wildcats have scored second chance opportunity. And, little things. Lammers gets the ball down here, gets cut off. When he loses the balance to pivot out, his partner's in the same line as Connor Smeezing. I mean, it's like you got to be able to move to make those, when your friends in help or desperation, where can you go to get the pass? And Knoxville, I don't think, moved to make that available, and Smeezing had to steal it because it was going to hit him in the face. So, little things like that. As you begin to get a little bit of confidence, you can eliminate those turnovers and keep a possession.
Schrader, high off the glass. Albers with the rebound.
For New Knoxville, just 1 of 6 here.
Holman wide open. Good pass. I think that was by Watercutter with the assist.
7 in the quarter for Holman, 11 now in the game. He has high score honors for the Wildcats, surpassing Logan Cooney, who had 10 in the first half.
3 ball rattled home there by Jay Schrader. Timeout by New Knoxville, 30-second timeout. I'd like to thank some of our additional sponsors: Burke Petroleum, Chiltex LLC, Seischruder Incorporated, Dickman Supply, Hometown Opportunity, Hillspun Automotive, Park National Bank, Securcom, and St. Henry Bank. Our keys to the game sponsored Keyhole Pizza. Our scoreboard sponsors First National Bank, Think First. Starting lineups are brought to you by Emerson Climate Technologies. All our timeouts like this one sponsored by Precision Strip. Jeff and I will pick a player of the game by NKTelco at the end of the game, sponsored by NKTelco. And our Minster Live View sponsor is Borchers Floor Center. And with 2:31 to go in the third quarter, Minster with a big lead now. They lead 36-17 on our First National Bank scoreboard.
While you were talking, I was kind of looking at my stats, seeing what I maybe screwed up or messed up, and I noticed New Knoxville only had a couple of defensive rebounds. I'm like, wait a second, because I see Minster's missed some shots. Well, the Minster's missed 7 shots, but then I look up, they also have 6 offensive rebounds. So they've done a super job, the Wildcats have, of crashing the glass and not only getting the rebound, but capitalizing. A big part has come from Ian Holman.
Richard.
Another of those tough shots to defend where he's moving and doesn't shoot it like a normal shot. He kind of like a left-handed hook shot.
Pirouette, if you will, and a nice little hook shot there by Andrew Leffel.
Leffel now with 7 points in the game.
Right at his average is 7.3.
Foul against Minster's number 14, Noah Sweeterman. Leffel 1-0 for 2. I mentioned that early in the game. A very good 85% free throw shooter on the season. Now 1 for 3.
Watercutter off the screen. Kind of a backup point guard. Really worked his way into playing time. Last year he played all JV. That pass is stolen away there from Albers, but Watercutter, I don't even know if he started on JV. He just really worked himself into the rotation. Started a few games earlier in the season. Leffel's 3 off the rim. Richard through the lane.
Given an opportunity, if you put some time in and work at it, a good chance you're going to have some playing time.
That's a jump ball. And Coach McClurg, I talked to him before, won the game. I talked about, obviously, the record's not real good. He said, your team really plays hard. He said, that's the seniors. The Logan Cooney, Dylan Watercutter, and also Andy Peppelman. He said they have set the culture that we are going to play hard. And he said he credits all them as really been great leaders on. Maybe the record doesn't look great, but that's going to pay success down in the years to come, that culture that these 3 seniors have set.
Well, it's a nice legacy to leave behind. I mean, people remember how you play and that. They'll remember the records, but not so much it's how you play. You know, they'll remember the hard work, and you know, it's not all about winning and losing. It's about how you lead the younger people as they look up to you.
Yeah, and both these teams, you know, obviously the record has been great, but same thing can be said for New Knoxville. They play hard. They give it all, and they're competitive as much as they can.
I've seen most of the games, and like I said, I've been, quote, impressed. I mean, they play hard, they fight. They've had moments of brilliance and, you know, quarters here and there. You know, I mentioned the St. Henry, the Jack Center game, the Fort Loramie game. They were ahead at halftime. I mean, you got to string it all together for 32 minutes. And other teams a little bit deeper, a little bit stronger, seemingly can do that. There should be a charge.
There's a charge, though, will not count the basket. The charge on Schwieterman.
Yeah, Dwenger steps in and takes the charge. He's playing with 3 fouls, so it's one of those great plays, as it turns out, for the Rangers. But that's a block. It's Troy Dwenger's 4th foul, but I thought it was a good call. It looked like he was there. Yeah. And he picks up the foul against Sweeterman. It's a turnover, no basket.
So Knoxville ball under 50 seconds to go. Schrader thought about it. Can't get the shot off of over 6'3" Sweeterman.
There's a type. If you had hit a couple shots early in the game, that ball's going up. But right now, having missed some shots, everything's up.
Here's Sweeterman to the hoop on the steal by Watercutter and assist.
His first 2 points of the game for the freshman.
40-20. Leffel into the corner to Schrader. Down to 13 seconds. See if the Rangers can score before quarter break. Dwenger foul on the way of the hoop.
Water cutter, a little bit too much contact, and the quicker Dwenger, if you will, picks up the foul against Water cutter.
Waterman will inbound it. That'll be a 5-second count.
A little bit slow developing. I was kind of counting. I know you got that mental clock, and there was really nothing there. Just got a little bit too long to materialize, and give credit to Minster's defense for not breaking down and giving the Rangers any quick looks on the out-of-bounds set.
So, see if Minster can get off a shot. Watercutter kicks it out. 3-ball McClurg. We play 3/4 of basketball here. Minster is pulled ahead on our First National Bank scoreboard. They lead 40-20. We'll be back in the fourth quarter here on NKTelco Sports.
Together, we are family, working safely for our loved ones.
We are problem solvers who challenge the status quo and drive improvement.
We care about our customer relationships.
We stay true to our values, caring and respecting one another.
We embrace change as we journey through our career.
We are Precision Strip, the world's leading processor of rolled steel and aluminum.
Precision Strip, doing the exceptional.
At Wilson Health, we're extending care beyond the walls of the hospital, with resources designed to keep you in charge of your health.
Our independence and connection to the community are unique in a world where big healthcare strives to act like corporations.
Our tools may be the same, but we are different.
We're neighbors, friends, and family who truly care about the people who live here.
We call it caring without limits, and it's just the beginning of a whole new Wilson Health.
As we go to the fourth quarter, on our First National Bank scoreboard, Minster by 20.
Minster outscores the Rangers 18-8, and they do still have some great shooting. 8 of 17 were the Wildcats, just under 50%. 7 of 11 two-point shots, and Richards, a tough shot here, gets us a drop, but most of those buckets they got were from offensive rebounds to follow up the misses, so they did a good job, and the high percentage, they were very efficient, so maybe the best way to state that on offense. When they had the ball, they scored.
With that basket there, Richard has now scored double figures in 12 straight games. And there is a 3-ball there by Troy Dwenger. His first 3 points tonight for the 5'11 junior.
He makes his 15th three-pointer of the season.
Richard that time loses the handle, or it's knocked away there by Jay Schrader. Drive to the hoop by Leffel, and he will draw a foul on Albers.
Good head and shoulder fake, great move, but then he realizes he's run into a 6'7" defensive player who already has 2 blocks, and at first I thought maybe they weren't going to call the foul on Albers, but Leffel does warrant the foul against Albers, who will have 2 free throws.
Leffel's high game of the season was against Temple Christian, as he now has missed
St. Mary's.
I'm sorry, it's 20 against St. Mary's. I didn't see it as the
first game of the year.
Yeah, and he had 10 against Temple Christian. His only 2 double figures games, but he's now at 9 there. But yeah, big game against St. Mary's with 20. The win for New Knoxville this season was against Houston back on December 10th, 10-point win. In that game, Troy Dwenger had 20 points in that game.
You look at that, there's probably 3. Waterman's been over 20. They've had 3 or 4 guys like be leading scorers with 20 points or maybe 18. So it's not like just one guy's been a high scorer. They've mixed it up a little bit. You know, like some nights it might be Leffel, some nights it might be Waterman, some nights it might be Dwenger. I think Richland had a game in there with
10 and 12 and 11. Boy, Jay Schrader had some big games. He had 17, 18, 16, and another 16-point game.
Yeah, so 3 guys right around 20, and but tonight it hasn't materialized that way. A tough outing so far for the Rangers, as I'm sure they had aspirations of being very competitive, and just has not worked well. Their shot has just not been able to score.
It was 6-6 after the first quarter, and then Minster got hot in the second quarter, stayed hot. Really more from the offensive rebounds in the third quarter was the story.
Yeah, correct. I mean, neither team lit it on fire. It's just New Knoxville has remained that way. It's Minster who has begun to increase their efficiencies in the second and third quarters. They shot 7 of 11 and 8 of 17 versus that 3 of 8 start they had in the first quarter. So a very good turnaround for Coach McClurg's team. And New Knoxville still, if you will, trying to find some rhythm, some continuity. They've got a game tomorrow night against Fort Jennings. So they'll have to, unless they have a miraculous comeback here, we'll have to stay positive and learn from this one. Nice pass from McClurg.
Over to Albers. Albers now at 8.
Right at his average of 8 points. He also averages 7 rebounds. He's probably had that many tonight as well.
Richard with the steal. He'll go to the line to shoot 2. Minster will have tomorrow off. They will play at Delphos St. John at the Vatican next Saturday, and then the following Saturday, or next Friday, they're at the Vatican. Next Saturday, they play Jackson Center at home. We'll have that here on NKTelco Sports. And the following Friday, they play Fort Recovery. That's their last home game. Finish out at St. Mary's, at New Bremen, and at Coldwater. So, and then we're only a couple weeks away from the tournament draw happening, which is going to be done by the Martin RPI ranking. So you can get the rankings online. I looked at it earlier this week.
But that's just for the Northwest
District, yes.
Not the entire state.
Yes, that's timeout by Coach McClurg. It'll be a full timeout. You're watching high school basketball on NKTelco Sports.
CarriageWorks has expanded and now can hold up to 25 cars in our service bay. CarriageWorks thrives on customer satisfaction. We accomplish that by providing top-of-the-line technology. CarriageWorks now uses a laser beam system to measure down to the millimeter of factory specs to better service you and get you back on the road. CarriageWorks has a brand new top-of-the-line paint booth that uses waterborne paint. There's no job too big or too small for CarriageWorks. We're certified collision specialists. Come in and see us today.
Ohio Means Jobs Auglaize County has a job for you. Grand Lake Health System has over 800 employees. Included is Joint Township District Memorial Hospital and multiple physician practices. And we're now hiring a variety of positions that fit all education and skill levels. Plus, you'll get a great benefit package offered to both full and part-time workers. Join this rewarding career and help your community in the process. Contact Ohio Means Jobs Auglaize County for all your employment needs.
6 minutes to go in the ball game. It'll be New Knoxville ball. And you look at it, New Knoxville's schedule. They have a lot of games this week. Saturday at home. Tuesday against Ada at home.
That's a makeup game from a snow out.
New Bremen at home on Friday, and then Saturday against Spencerville. So 4 straight home games at the barn for New Knoxville. Then they'll finish up 3 in a row on the road at Bath, at Fort Recovery, at Botkins, and then Parkway at home. There won't be senior night this year, I guess.
Nope.
Not for the boys or the girls.
Well, yeah, you're right. There's one senior on the girls' team.
Yeah, okay,
she was hurt last night.
Yeah, you're right. That's right.
Cole Albers block shot there, Dave.
Plus
that's
there's cheerleaders there can be.
Yeah.
Senior night. Don't want to forget.
Not for basketball, but
right.
Cole Albers at 3rd. I think season-wise that might put him already 6th maybe as Waterman scores.
Yeah, his 6th place. We were looking it up. He's at, what did you say, 39 or 40 now?
He came in the game with 37. He has 40 now unofficially.
Shot by Richard as he'll go to the line. We looked it up at halftime. The all-time leader in Minster's Jared Schultze in 2018 for a season was 72. Justin Nixon second at 64. Schultze and Nixon have the top 5 places, but Cole Albers is now in the 6th place overall with 40, and if he can get to 55, he could tie for 5th place, which is realistic with a few games left to go. As there's Richard hits the first one.
He's a freshman, so let's say he gets 50 this year. If he did 50 each year, that'd be 200. Would that not give him the career mark?
The all-time career rise like 172 or something. Okay. Yeah, you definitely could. Definitely something to keep an eye on. Richard now 4 of 4. Very good foul shooter as well.
Yeah, 79% and a very good three-point shooter. I mean, he hasn't maybe stroked it that well tonight. It's 41%, but a good free throw shooter. And again, you get those opportunities. There's a reason why he's averaging 14+ points a game. Yeah, and on those nights when it all lines up, you can go for 30 at times.
He's had 15, and I'd say it's almost a quiet 15. He didn't just keep scoring a little here, a little there. The foul lines are always kind of quiet points. You don't think about them, but he converts He's at a very high percentage. I'll look it up. Here he's right at 80%. So that tough pass there goes out of bounds for the Rangers.
Okay, the free throws aren't the wow plays, if you will. They only seem like a wow when there's a couple seconds left in the game and you're at the line. But, three-pointers seem to get people excited, dunks, this and that. But free throws are just kind of, you should make them is what people think. They don't realize it's not an easy shot. It's just a non-defense shot. But that's why I think sometimes you get some quiet points there.
Yep.
And they all add up and they all count. And there's a reason why they're at the line. So
with Brogan Steffi being hurt, missing this season, Richard has really developed, and there's a nice follow by Cole Albers. He'll now be in double figures. That'd be the fourth Wildcat in double figures tonight.
Pretty balanced scoring, and all those close games they've lost this year, Dave. It seems like now all those things they continue just to build off of that, and they've dominated really the play, especially quarters 2, 3, and 4.
Senior Andy Peppelman into the game. Mentioned him and his fellow seniors, Watercutter and Cooney, setting the culture, according to Coach McClurg. So
Albers a tough free throw there. He struggled from the 15-foot line, and he's going to have to work on that game because he's going to get better inside. He's going to get fouled a lot, and he needs to figure a way out to capitalize on those opportunities.
The defensive spot there by Watercutter as Connor Schmeezing will come into the game. Is Logan Cooney a big game? Had a near dunk. He had 8 points in the.
He got fouled.
He got fouled, and
the rim snapped. He touched the rim. It went in.
Definitely sparked the Wildcats with 8 points in the second quarter as Schmeezing loses the handle on the way.
Yeah, that early on when let's say the game was still, you just thought New Knoxville can get a little bit of fire on offensively. They're going to battle, but Cooney really was part of that big process in the second quarter that Minster never let New Knoxville's offense get going. Was it just a bad night of shooting for the Rangers? Maybe so, but still, the Rangers had to work for a lot of their stuff, and Cooney was a part of that, both offensively and defensively.
It was dribbled out of bounds.
5 turnovers here in the quarter, and up until this point, New Knoxville had done a nice job overall. I mentioned the turnover bug. They've gotten much better throughout the season, but tonight, up until this point, had been taking pretty good care of the basketball. It just comes down to the inability to score when you took your shot.
Cole Albers leaves. Caleb Sharp in the game, the only junior in the program. So Minster only has 3 seniors
and one
junior. The rest are sophomores and freshmen. So they're
in the 8th grader. Do you know how many kids are on that roster? I know the 7th grade's got like 15, but
I think it's around 10. I don't really know off the top of my head. I don't think as many as 15. Watched them a couple Saturdays ago, and that will be a kick. It'll be red ball there, New Knoxville ball. As official stepped in there and straightened it out here as we go to the last 3.5 minutes of this game. It's a 6-6 after 1, and Minster exploded in the second quarter and have ridden that from there. It's Andy Peppelman with a rebound. See the Minster student section in fluorescent colors, we'll call it, orange and purples.
Yeah, I'm not real sure it's bright. They're well documented over there, easy to spot.
Yeah, there's always a theme every night. It's always just like several of the student sections. A nice drive there by Dylan Watercutter.
His first 2 points of the game, another Wildcat player in the scorebook. It's kind of won't beat a dead horse here, but it's like a tough night for the Rangers. I think they were really looking to compete tonight, and after playing some very good competition and hanging with them and this and that, I think they thought they could have a chance to legitimately come in here and get their first MAC win, and it's not going to happen tonight.
Several substitutions as well. This happens sometimes in that Minster last week played at Versailles, a Versailles team that's under 500, and they, to be honest, just laid an egg. Lost by 25, was never anywhere close in that game. Connor Stonebreaker just walked over him for 30 points. So, all right, let's set the rosters here. Jeff, why don't you give all the Rangers?
Parker Jones, number 14, took it in bounds. This is Preston Richling. Also in the court, number 12, Noah Holland. Number 15, Caleb Putman. And number 13, Sully Stiles into the Ranger lineup right now. That was Parker Jones there with the pull-up jumper. He wears number 14. It'll stay with New Knoxville.
Evan Pranger will come into the game, replacing Caleb Sharp. Only Wildcats have Andy Peppelman at 2, number 3, Andrew Kettner at 11, Andrew West, number 40, Evan Pranger, number 30, Grant Larger.
Noah Holland.
Holland with the shot.
I watched as the players, they did the wholesale changes. Again, we're right in line with the New Knoxville bench. Every Ranger starter came off. You could tell they weren't happy. Coach Munger high-fived him. Never, it was just, guys, you got to have a short memory. And now maybe in the locker room there'll be conversation, but right now in public, very, respectful. Hey, yes. You got beat tonight. They're sweaty. They played hard. It didn't work out for them, and I know they're frustrated.
Andrew Kettner, a long 3. Rebound to the Rangers. Preston Richling is knocked away. That'll be off of Kettner.
Yeah, he had a nice job. Kettner did hustle down. He missed a shot on one end and then hustles down and prevents the Rangers from getting a high percentage look.
Hey, following up on what Coach Munger, I like how he conducts himself on the bench, respectful to the kids and the game.
And what's odd is, he knows how to do it. I mean, he's not that far out. You mentioned he's a New Bremen graduate from 15. I mentioned before, 20-point score, 9 rebounds a game. I was in the gym the other night. He was practicing with his own team, and he was in the shooting drill. They lost. Guess what? Losing team had to do down and backs. Guess who was the leading runner on that losing team? Coach Carson Munger. I mean, I think they ran for a minute. I don't know what it was. They were down and back, and back, and he never gave up, and he participated with the kids.
He had a great career at Lake Superior State as well.
4 years as well, and it's been a grad assistant year at BG. But, the second year here at New Knoxville, and it's frustrating because he can play the game, and if he'd be out there right now, he could probably single-handedly, win games at this level yet. But coaches aren't allowed to play anymore. I've suggested that. I'll take any coach in the area, let them play, and I'll put money on the Rangers that things will change.
Yeah, that'd be a good, nice fundraiser is have the coaches kind of have a play against each other.
And a paramedic nearby, and a stretcher and crutches, and Dr. Krumchek to fix torn ACLs. But
Grant Larger, freshman here. I think this is his first opportunity for a varsity point. Could not get it. Rebound to Andy Peppelman. These are meaningful minutes and time for all these kids. Memories that can be made even in a blowout like this game. Peppelman driving to the hoop, shot up and in.
Well, the senior gets his first point of the night.
First point of the season. Could be the first point of his varsity career. He played a little bit on varsity last year, so.
Sully Stiles for New Knoxville. The big basket there, his first varsity points of the night, of the season. He's a freshman.
You can see both players getting their first 2 points tonight.
Stiles, number 13 on his jersey, but size 14 shoes. So you never know what happens over the summer.
Sully Stiles, I think that's his first 2 varsity points this year. Yeah,
it might be his first varsity. I'm not for sure.
First points he scored this year. So him and Peppelman, the first 2 points of the season.
Yep. I'm not so sure. I can't remember if some of these. I know Parker Jones has dressed varsity, and maybe they have. I lose track of who's all gotten in at the end of the game, but definitely probably his first points.
Stiles went up.
And that's a good call by the official. He went up to shoot it, jumped, and then thought, I can't, and started his dribble. So some people may say, well, he dribbled. The thing is, though, when you jump, you lose your pivot foot. You haven't got rid of the basketball yet, so it's a travel.
Andrew West is going to dribble out this victory for Minster. They break their losing streak. They win the final score on our First National Bank scoreboard. Minster 54, New Knoxville 28. Minster will now go to 3-13 on the season, 1-4 in the MAC, where New Knoxville falls to 1-12 on the season. Individual scoring for the New Knoxville Rangers, they were led by Andrew Leffel with 9, Jay Waterman with 5, Jay Schrader with 5, Preston Richling with 4, Troy Dringer with 2, Sully Stiles with 2 points. So again, Andrew Leffel with 9, followed by Jay Waterman, Jay Schrader with 5 points apiece. For the Minster Wildcats, very balanced scoring. They have 5 different players score in double figures. I'm sorry, 4 different players in double figures, led by Cole Richard with 15, Ian Homan with 11, Logan Cooney and Cole Albers both with 10 apiece. Other scorers, Andy Peppelman's first 2 points of the season, Cole McClurg with the deuce, Dylan Watercutter with the deuce, as well as Noah Schwederman. So again, it's 4 players in double figures. Cole Richard with 15, Ian Homan with 11, Logan Cooney and Cole Albers with 10 apiece. Score by quarter, very close after the first quarter, 6-6. Minster 16-6 second quarter. They lead 22-12 at halftime. They extend that. They score 18 points in the third quarter. They lead 40-26 after 3. The final score, once again, Minster 54, New Knoxville 28. With the final team numbers, here's Mr. Jeff Henshin.
For New Knoxville, they were 7 of 22 from 2-point shooting, 7 of 22, 4 of 16 3-point shooting. Overall, just 11 of 38 from the field. For Minster, 21 of 30 from 2-point shooting, 2 out of 3. That's a pretty good percentage, or 21 out of 30. Just 2 of 13 from beyond the arc. They finished the game from the field 23 of 43. That's over 50%. Great job shooting for the Wildcats. Free throws, not really many free throws taken. New Knoxville 2 for 5. Minster 6 for 9. Rebounding, huge favor in there for the Wildcats. 34 total rebounds compared to just 14 for New Knoxville, and Minster had 12 offensive boards. We talked about that. They capitalized on a lot of those for second chance points in the rebounding category. Turnovers, again, I mentioned it numerous times. New Knoxville just I say, was 14. That's below their season average. That continues to get better. So they took care of the basketball much better tonight. But that poor shooting percentage, 11 of 28, didn't allow them to stay competitive. Minster finishes with 18 turnovers, and kind of high, a little bit above their average. But when you shoot over 50% and the other team shoots well less than that, you can give those up and still be successful. So congratulations to the Wildcats, and tough night for the Rangers. We're looking forward to them competing tonight. I know they're disappointed. They're going to have to bounce back at a short memory as they go to work again tomorrow at home against Fort Jennings.
Minster snaps a 9-game losing streak as they go to 3-13. And Coach McClurg, I think, we've talked about they've lost 2 games in overtime, have lost 4 other games close. He's got to be happy with how his team especially responded from the first quarter on.
Yeah, they've had some, all in all, what you just said there, that they had a good game against Miami East, came up missing there all the close games throughout the year. Tonight is a good step forward for them. There was a lot of confidence built and a chance to kind of no game tomorrow night, another break, and then they're going to have some hands full next Friday. I think they'll go to the Vatican, and you mentioned some other teams. They got some big games coming up here yet, as a lot of teams do, but a chance maybe to bounce back and get some W's here before the final RPI rankings come out for the second season of the sectional tournament.
One more order of business, our player of the game. Talked about how Minster pulled away in the second quarter. A big part of that was the senior Logan Cooney.
Yes, he scores 2, 4, 8 points in that very explosive second quarter. Again, that was a difference. Both teams struggled in the first quarter. New Knoxville never got going. Cooney was a big part of that second quarter for Minster and had that very impressive steal and dunk foul attempt. He cashed in and finishes the first half with 10. Really set the stage and made it very difficult for New Knoxville to ever climb back into it with that 10-point lead at half. And congratulations to the very athletic, very energetic Kurt Rambis, Clark Kent, athletic sport goggle wearer, wherever you want to call him, but fine ball player, 6'2" senior, finishes with 10 points. Logan Cooney, our NKTelco player of the game.
Also, congratulations to the Minster Wildcats. Our final score for the last time, they beat the New Knoxville Rangers 54-28 on our First National Bank scoreboard. For my partner, Jeff Henshin, I'm Dave Kanapke. Thanks for watching on NKTelco Sports.